Hello everyone, welcome to YM Studio, YMLO. This video is about a strange case in Hong Kong. It is about a professional doctor who, perhaps because of an extramarital affair or for money, actually used carbon monoxide placed on a yoga ball to poison his wife and daughter. Now let me share it with you. Let me first give you an overview of the case. Khaw Kim-sun's murder of his wife and daughter was a sensational murder case that occurred in Hong Kong in 2015. On May 22, 2015, Khaw Kim-sun, an associate professor in the Department of Anesthesia and Intensive Care Medicine at the School of Medicine at the Chinese University of Hong Kong at the time, put his wife Wong Sufing and his second daughter Lily Khaw Li-ling in a coma and died together through a poison gas yoga ball placed in the rear of a yellow BMW Mini private car. This double murder case remained unsolved for 2 years. It was not until September 2017 that Khaw Kim-sun was arrested and prosecuted. On September 18, 2018, Khaw Kim-sun was unanimously convicted by the jury of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. On November 21, 2023, the Court of Final Appeal ruled that Khaw Kim-sun's appeal was allowed and ordered the case to be remanded for retrial. On January 14, 2025, the High Court jury unanimously convicted Khaw Kim-sun of 2 counts of murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment. On February 14, 2025, Khaw Kim-sun applied to the Court of Appeal for appeal. Now, let's take a look at the important people involved in this murder case. Khaw Kim-sun, the murderer in this case, was about 50 years old when the crime occurred in 2015. He was then an associate professor in the Department of Anesthesia and Intensive Care Medicine of the Faculty of Medicine of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and also an honorary senior doctor at the Prince of Wales Hospital in Sha Tin. He is from Malaysia and obtained his Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from the University of London in 1988, a Fellow of the Royal College of Anaesthetists in 1993, and a Fellow of the Hong Kong Academy of Medicine in Anesthesia in 1997. He joined the Chinese University of Hong Kong as an assistant professor in around 1997. His research focuses on obstetric anesthesia. In 2013, he completed his doctoral dissertation in medicine at CUHK, which focused on oxygen supply to pregnant women undergoing caesarean section. It was the first doctoral dissertation in this field to receive an award from CUHK. He is also a tennis coach at CUHK and served as the honorary team leader of the CUHK women's tennis team. He won the 3rd place in the singles tennis tournament of the Shaw College Faculty and Staff Association at the Chinese University of Hong Kong in 2000. Under police caution, Khaw Kim-sun admitted that he had an extramarital affair with his former student and researcher Sustanshara Li Weiyi. According to Khaw Kim-sun's aunt Huang Shufang, Khaw Kim-sun's motto in life is, "Whatever you do, it is not wrong if you don't get caught. Similar to catch me if you can, only tell me when you catch me." Li Yongyi was Khaw Kim-sun's mistress and was 34 years old at the time of the incident. She is also from Malaysia and was once a student and research assistant of Khaw Kim-sun. Shara Li Weiyi graduated with first-class honors from the Department of Radiology of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University in 2004. When she studied for a doctorate in anesthesia and intensive care medicine at the Faculty of Medicine of the Chinese University of Hong Kong from 2004 to 2008, Khaw Kim-sun was her supervisor. The two developed a teacher-student romance despite their 16-year age difference. In 2007, Li Weiyi purchased a unit in Yu Chui Court, Sha Tin, for 1.24 million Hong Kong dollars. The unit, adjacent to the Prince of Wales Hospital in Sha Tin, became their love nest where they would secretly date in the future. Most of the papers published by Shara Li Weiyi over the years were conducted together with Khaw Kim-sun and others. After the murder, Shara Li Weiyi and Khaw Kim-sun became closer. They enjoyed being together as a couple and even traveled abroad as a couple. The police arrested her on May 12, 2016 after discovering that she had appeared in the laboratory when Khaw Kim-sun was conducting experiments on carbon monoxide, and had spoken with Khaw Kim-sun on the phone 4 times the night before the incident. However, she was eventually released due to insufficient evidence. The deceased, Wong Soo-fing, was Khaw Kim-sun's wife and was about 47 years old at the time of the incident. She is also from Malaysia. She met Khaw Kim-sun when she was working as a nurse in the UK. She was a full-time housewife at the time of the incident. She married Khaw Kim-sun in 1992 and had 3 daughters and 1 son. On May 21, 2015, she revealed to her sister Huang Shufang that she planned to travel with her family to Avignon, France and Barcelona, Spain during the summer vacation. The next day, she and her second daughter Lily Khaw Lee Ling were found unconscious and dead in the yellow Mini Cooper car. The other victim, Lily Khaw, was the second daughter of Khaw Kim-sun and Wong Soo-fing. She was about 16 years old at the time of the incident. She was born in Hong Kong and was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and dyslexia at the age of 7. She studied at Po Leung Kuk Choi Bai Kai Yao School and transferred to the English Foundation's Kai Sun College in Ma On Shan during the summer of 2014. On May 22, 2015, he fell into a coma and died in his mother's yellow Mini Cooper car. Khaw's family background. Now let's take a look at the Khaw's family background. In 1988, Khaw Kim-sun and Wong Soo-fing met each other and they were trained as a doctor and a nurse respectively in a hospital in London. The two got married in 1992 and moved to Hong Kong in 1997. They have 3 daughters and 1 son. When the case happened in 2015, the eldest daughter was 19 years old, the second daughter was 16 years old, the third daughter was 12 years old, and the youngest son was 11 years old. At the time of the incident, the eldest daughter was studying medicine in Malaysia, the second daughter was studying at Kai Sun College, and the third daughter and youngest son was studying at Po Leung Kuk Choi Kai Yao School. The mistress, Shara Lee Wei Yi, was studying for a PhD in anesthesia and intensive care medicine at the Faculty of Medicine of the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Khaw Kim-sun was her supervisor. Although the two were 16 years apart in age, they still developed a teacher-student love affair regardless of age. Since 2004, Shara Lee Wei Yi has gone to Khaw Kim-sun's home to tutor his eldest daughter and second daughter in Chinese. The eldest daughter said in court that she was the first to discover that Shara Lee Wei Yi had an affair with her father Khaw Kim-sun. Starting from 2008, the relationship between Khaw Kim-sun and his wife Wong Soo-fing deteriorated and they had emotional problems. The Khaw family of 6 moved into a 3-story detached house in Tai Dong Village, Sai Sha Road, Sai Kung in 2013. At a barbecue party in the summer of 2013, Wong Soo-fing learned from her friends that Shara Lee Wei Yi, who had been tutoring her daughter, was actually her husband's extramarital affair partner. Since November 2013, Wong Soo-fing has suffered from moderate depression and moderate anxiety. In June 2014, Wong Soo-fing filed for divorce from Khaw Kim-sun, but was rejected by Khaw. Wong Soo-fing pointed out that Khaw Kim-sun only stayed at home 3 times a week, and unpeaceful incidents occurred every time he returned home. Khaw Kim-sun and Wong Soo-fing had a total of 6.8 million Hong Kong dollars in cash, jointly owned a company and owned 7 village houses in joint tenancy, commonly known as long life deeds, including 3 floors of even-numbered village houses in Tai Tong Village, Sai Kung, market value of 23 million Hong Kong dollars, 1 floor of odd-numbered village houses in Tai Tong Village, Sai Kung, market value of 6 million Hong Kong dollars, and 3 floors of odd-numbered village houses in Tong Fuk, Lantau Island with 5,000 square feet of land, market value of 25 million Hong Kong dollars. The total market value of the properties exceeded 50 million Hong Kong dollars, and all of them had been repaid or had no mortgage. The property of the two is in the form of a long life deed. If Wong Soo-fing dies, all property rights will belong to Khaw Kim-sun. But if the two divorce, half of the property may belong to Wong Soo-fing. Wong Soo-fing had purchased several insurance policies overseas, one of which had a life insurance claim amount of approximately 5.07 million Hong Kong dollars, with Khaw Kim-sun as the beneficiary. 4.17. In late 2014, Khaw and Huang chose not to divorce. In addition to considering their 4 children, they also chose to keep their assets above 50 million. Wong Soo-fing asked for half of the assets after the divorce, but Khaw Kim-sun was only willing to give her 1/6. The two sides remained deadlocked for many years. 18. According to the Immigration Department, Khaw Kim-sun and Shara Lee Wei traveled abroad 9 times between April 19, 2013 and August 30, 2015. Within 3 months after the accident, Khaw Kim-sun's wife and daughter continued to travel together. On May 12, 2016, the police arrested Zhu Jinshan for the first time and found a white yoga ball stopper in a drawer in Zhu Jinshan's study. At that time, Zhu Jinshan claimed for the first time that he had stored carbon monoxide in a yoga ball, and also said that he suspected that his second daughter had committed suicide. Because there was still a large amount of investigation to be completed, Zhu Jinshan was temporarily released on January 24, 2017. During the police investigation, they found that Lee Yongyi had appeared in the laboratory at least twice when Zhu Jinshan was experimenting with carbon monoxide. Moreover, Zhu Jinshan had spoken to Lee Yongyi 4 times on the phone the night before the incident. They suspected that Lee Yongyi was involved in the murder, so the police arrested her. Lee Yongyi behaved calmly when he was arrested. Under warning, he said he had no knowledge of the case and said he had forgotten the contents of his 4 phone calls with Zhu the night before the incident. Due to insufficient evidence, the police did not arrest and prosecute Lee Yongyi again. 1. After several investigations, on September 11, 2017, the police crime squad arrested Khaw Kim-sun again in a unit in Tai Tong Village, Sai-kung, and charged him with 2 counts of murder. He was brought to the Sha Tin Magistrates Courts in the afternoon. 22. Khaw Kim-sun was arrested. The prosecution alleged that Khaw Kim-sun said under caution that 2 days before the incident, he injected carbon monoxide into 2 yoga balls at CUHK and took the balls home, explaining that he did so to kill rats. Khaw Kim-sun also pointed out that his daughter might have committed suicide due to excessive pressure. Khaw Kim-sun told the police that he and his mistress Shara Lee Wei had been together for several years, and his wife had always known about the existence of the other party, but she was unwilling to accept the reality. The couple had also mentioned divorce, but his wife only wanted to get more protection and refused at one point. Therefore, the police suspected that Khaw Kim-sun wanted to kill for money. On August 22, 2018, the case opened in the High Court and Khaw Kim-sun was charged with 2 counts of murder, alleging that he murdered Wong Soo-fing and Lily Khaw Lee Lingen May 22, 2015. Khaw Kim-sun chose not to appear in court to defend himself. Only the video of Khaw Kim-sun's meeting with the police was played in court. In court, Jo Hao-kiao, research assistant professor of the Department of Orthopedics and Traumatology at CUHK, pointed out that at about 2 p.m. on May 20, 2015, he, Khaw Kim-sun and technicians conducted another experiment, injecting carbon monoxide into the blood of white rabbits. Shara Lee Wei appeared at 4 p.m. and the experiment was completed at about 4:30 p.m. Jo Hao-kiao witnessed Khaw Kim-sun injecting carbon monoxide into 2 yoga balls and taking them away with his arms, saying that he wanted to take the carbon monoxide away for his friend in the chemistry department to test the concentration. When Khaw Kim-sun met with the police, he argued that he used carbon monoxide to kill the rats in the house, but Khaw Kim-sun's Indian mate said that there was no trace of rats for 5 months before the incident. On the one hand, Khaw Kim-sun insisted to the police that his mistress Shara Lee Wei had nothing to do with the case. On the other hand, he put all the blame for the 2 lives on his 16-year-old second daughter Lee Ling. he portrayed Khaw Lee Ling as an emotionally unstable and dangerous person with suicidal and matricide thoughts. He said that it was she who brought a yoga ball filled with carbon monoxide into the car, which led to her own and her mother's death, and committed the crime of matricide. However, multiple witnesses said Lily Khaw Lee Ling was friendly, cheerful, passionate about life, full of expectations for the future, and had no suicidal tendencies. Among them, Khaw Lee Ling's classmates said that they had signed up for the World Scholars Cup together in 2015. At about 1:30 p.m. on the day of the incident, Lily Khaw Lee Ling made an appointment with her to have dinner at a restaurant 3 days later. In addition, the Indian maid witnessed Wong Soo Fing and Lily Khaw Lee Ling leaving home and getting into the car without a yoga ball. On September 19, 2018, at approximately 11:15 a.m., the jury of 5 men and 4 women retired to deliberate. After deliberating for about 7 hours, the jury unanimously found Khaw Kim-sun guilty of 2 counts of murder and sentenced him to life imprisonment as per the law. Judge Zhang Hiling said that although Khaw Kim-sun was intelligent and well-educated, it was shocking that he had premeditated and planned to kill his wife. Since the defendant has a mistress and owns a property jointly with his wife, it is believed that the defendant may have intended to kill over the issue of property distribution. This murder case caused a sensation. In addition to being reported by all major media in Hong Kong, it also attracted the attention of foreign media. Khaw Kim-sun's mistress, Shara Lee Wei-yi, was arrested on suspicion but was not formally charged due to insufficient evidence. After the case, she continued to work as an assistant professor at the Department of Medical Technology and Informatics at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and was promoted to associate professor in July 2019. Khaw Kim-sun did not behave himself just because he was found guilty. On October 16, 2018, the Department of Justice received Khaw Kim-sun's application for leave to appeal and the appeal hearing will be scheduled. On July 6, 2020, the Medical Council held a disciplinary hearing on the case of Khaw Kim-sun. In her verdict, the chairman of the inquiry panel, Liu Yunyi, stated that murder is the most serious crime. From the incident, it can be seen that the defendant Khaw Kim-sun is no longer suitable to possess medical professional qualifications. Therefore, he was sentenced to be removed from the general practitioner and specialist medical register indefinitely, with immediate effect. 32. On December 16, 2020, Khaw Kim-sun appealed against his conviction to the Court of Appeal of the High Court, claiming that the yoga ball in question may have been placed in the car by one of the victims. However, Chief Judge Pan Zhao pointed out that according to the testimony of the Khaw family's maid, she saw the 2 victims go out and did not see them carrying yoga balls. 33. During the trial, the defense questioned the original trial judge for not fully considering the defense's case and ignoring certain details when guiding the jury, such as the carbon monoxide experiment being conducted and the rat infestation problem in the house. However, the Court of Appeal held that the original trial judge had properly summarized the evidence during the trial, the appellant had received a fair trial, and there was sufficient evidence in this case to prove that the appellant was guilty of 2 counts of murder. On June 7, 2022, the Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal and required Khaw to continue serving his sentence. 34. On October 25, 2022, the Court of Appeal issued a written judgment, holding that the original court had properly guided the jury in accordance with the guidelines of the Court of Appeal of England and Wales and there was no room for dispute. 35. The verdict went on to state that the original trial had repeatedly reminded the jurors that Khaw murdered his wife and daughter was not the only reasonable inference and that a conviction could not be made. The verdict therefore considered that the jury had correctly understood the prosecution's burden of proof and standard. The legal arguments raised by the appellant were not reasonable and could not be defended. The court therefore refused to issue a certificate of appeal for the defendant to appeal to the Court of Final Appeal. 36. Dissatisfied with his conviction, Khaw Kim-sun lodged a final appeal with the Court of Final Appeal, which granted leave to appeal on June 6, 2023. Opening square bracket. The Court of Final Appeal delivered its judgment on November 21, 2023, stating that the original trial judge failed to properly guide the jury, and ruled that Khaw Kim-sun's appeal was allowed and the case must be returned for retrial. On November 6, 2024, the retrial opened in the High Court. Defense barrister Anwar Fai and barrister Chan Kar-won-tong originally represented Khaw Kim-sun. However, on the 9th day of the trial, Khaw Kim-sun believed that he was the most suitable person to cross-examine the witnesses, and decided to terminate the employment of the defense legal team. Instead, he personally cross-examined the witnesses and even appeared in court to testify and make closing statements. During this trial, Khaw Kim-sun adopted a new strategy, saying that carbon monoxide was used to experiment with a grand plan, but the plan was not clearly explained in the end. In order to prove that he and his wife had no intention of divorce, Khaw Kim-sun stated in court that Shara Lee Wee was only his sexual object and not a serious relationship partner. On January 14, 2025, after 41 days of trial, the jury retired to deliberate on the verdict. The 7-member jury reached a verdict at 3:17 p.m., unanimously finding Khaw Kim-sun guilty of 2 counts of murder. Upon hearing the verdict, Khaw Kim-sun remained calm and did not plead for leniency. The judge sentenced Khaw Kim-sun to life imprisonment in accordance with the law. Khaw Kim-sun also appealed the retrial result on February 14, 2025. YMLO felt that Khaw Kim-sun was an absolute villain who framed the people around him in many ways in order to extricate himself. I had a good family, but I didn't cherish it. However, in order to prevent his wife from getting a share of the property after the divorce, he even thought of poisoning his family with carbon monoxide gas. Now, 2 family members have lost their lives and the other family members are in trauma. Khaw himself will continue to work hard in prison to appeal for himself. The only beneficiary is Shara Lee Wee, who is now on the rise. But she is not necessarily a good person. He was still able to travel with Khaw Kim-sun within 3 months after his wife's death. They are all terrible people. The above videos were edited and produced by YMLO, but they are dubbed. If you want to listen to the original version, you can watch the Cantonese version. If you like my channel, please like, subscribe and leave a message. See you next time.